And welcome, motherfucking welcome to ZenChaos. That over there is Zen bringing peace or fury. And I'm thinking it's the latter today. And I
The
am Dean.
vibes. The vibes.
Yeah. The vibes ain't gonna be cool today, though. I know he's looking all nice and he's smiling and he's looking chill, but these are the ones that you got to be careful of. And speaking of being careful, let me shut the hell up. Mr. Zen,
Yes, sir.
what the hell has been going on in Florida?
The vibes. This is a Florida shirt, actually. My brother wanted from, my brother wanted from a company down there that sponsored. He was like, "Yo, you get a free T-shirt.
I
Here,
love
hit
this
me up.
shit.
Do this. Post this ad on Facebook or on Instagram. You'll get this T-shirt. Got it. Florida vibes. Yo, Florida is wild, wilding. Their cops are out of control, bro.
Uh-huh.
So I just told you backstage about I saw a video on from TYT. I don't rock with TYT anymore, but the video was strictly video of a cop who pulled over some dude, or he had somebody pulled over. Guy pulls up to them, sees them, stops, trying to get past, asks the cop if he can go, drives off. Drives sort of fast, but not like nothing
Nothing
wild.
crazy. Right.
But he was annoyed, wanted to get home. Roads were blocked or whatever. He's doing this some detour or whatever to get home. So he pulls off. Cop gets tight, hops in his vehicle from the stop that he was doing, floors it. You hear the tires screech, floors it. Chases him down, makes the dude pull over. Pulls over. They get into like a heated back and forth. The guy got out of his car, first off. He pulls up, the cop pulls up, the guy got out of his car. He's like, "What are you stopping me for?" He's like, "Get back in your car. Get back in your car." So they have their back and forth. The guy gets back in his car. Another patrol ends up showing up. Cop turns to the other patrol and he's like, I was at a stop at a block, whatever. He comes by me and then screeching his tires as he drives off. Dude's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You're the one that screeched your tires coming after me." If he didn't say it, the person commentating or that did the video played like, no, he was the one. And when you're watching the video, you hear the cop is the one who screeches the tires. Cops fronting like dude was mad aggressive with him when it was the cop pressing him the whole time.
Started the whole thing. I was trying to find a video for the people, but I couldn't find a good one that wasn't talked over.
I could try and find it on Facebook, but that would take a minute.
No, take your time.
But,
no, take your time. Do your thing. I got this.
Don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly where it ended, but this is one scenario that happened in Florida. Another one that happened in Florida. Cop has a dude in custody already. He's got him cuffed, got dude in the back seat. They're still having a verbal back and forth. Cop is tight for whatever reason. He was like, "Yo, you're going to get disrespectful with us. You get disrespectful. You'll never get disrespectful, blah, blah, blah." Says at one point to the dude, "I will take your soul from you." Another cop does what a cop should do in that situation. Grabs him because he was out of line. He's trying to pull him out of the situation to calm him down. And it's a female cop too. Grabs him, pulls him out of the situation. The cop turns to her, grabs her by the neck. He's like, "Don't you ever put your hands on me." Turns, starts yelling at the guy more, turns to her. He's like, "I'll deal with you in 5 minutes." Apparently said that there was a point during this entire thing where there were like 4 other cops there too, where he told everybody to turn their cameras off. So it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're attacking your own when you're out of line, getting hot-headed and screaming like, "I'm ready to kill you" stuff at somebody who's in handcuffs in the back of a car who you feel disrespected by. And then you turn and choke your own coworker. But yet, also in Florida, you got a cop, a chief, who gets fired for being too diverse. You know why? Because there was a point in time where he looked at the wall and said, "That's too white." So you know what? Out of the next 15 people I hire, 9 of them are going to be white.
Well, you know
That's
what?
too diverse.
Well, 9 are going to be white. The remaining we're going to be like like black people or like a mix, we will say. But the interesting thing is that he still hired more white white leadership than he did of minorities. But let's take it even like a step further. He was actually, so the gentleman's name that we're speaking on is Larry Scirotto. Scirotto. I don't know. I
Something like
apologize.
that. I don't even remember.
Something like that. But
Scirotto?
excuse me. Now, he was tasked by the controller of, like, of that county, of his jurisdiction, basically saying, like, we need to add more diversity. So he was already falling in line with what he was already tasked with.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's why it's hilarious that he does the job you tasked him with, and now you want to hang him out to dry. What are we doing?
Because somebody's dropping internal dimes on him. There's a blend of, they were investigating something else, which is how this all of a sudden popped up that he was being
No, I think
trying to be too diverse.
No. They were investigating this. So what happened was there were some officers, 2 white, one was Spanish.
Yeah.
Those officers stated they were just like they basically said that they, like, he's pushing for diversity over white candidates. Like, if you're white, you're not going to have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe, like, they were asking him about candidates, and I believe that all the candidates were of equal, like, stature. So it was just like, pick your choice. So then I guess when the person allegedly, this is all alleged because there is no corroboration. This is just hearsay at this point.
Right.
There was no cameras, there was no recordings. Who knows if he even said that? Because he said that he did not state that, if I'm not mistaken. But what was stated, allegedly stated, was that he said, well, who's blacker?
Right. So
Then
it's like, I'm going to pick based off this. So now we're going to start dropping. Oh, look at him. He's trying to play to this side. Oh, he looked at the wall and said that wall's too white. It's like, well, is it? Is it a wall of white people?
Is it reflective of the community that you're serving? Right. And then on top of that,
is it reflective of the staff? Is it reflective of the staff?
Or matter of fact, can we take it a step further? That was his directive.
Mm-hmm.
That was the directive.
You're following rules. You're following the orders, and they're not wrong.
Can't say it all. But Florida does some kind of crazy shit every now and then. And then Florida does some things that seem crazy, but people like you and I don't understand why they would be seen crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people. We're about to go there. This bill is known, a law now, is known as HB 1557.
Don't say gay.
I'm not even going to say a.k.a. I'm going to say best known as don't say gay.
This is a good one.
It is a good one, and I'm just going to ask it straight out the gate. What's the beef with it?
I will counter that with, I have no clue.
Like,
when you read the bill, I don't know what people are mad at. I don't know what anybody wants pushback on.
So Zen and I both have read this bill. And one, what is the issue with, okay, so basically here comes, all right, so I see this, you got the sexual orientation thing down here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to read through this page, and then we're going to skip down a few pages to like the real meat and bones of it. Let's read the first part. An act relating to parental rights in education, amending S.1001.42 F.S, requiring district school boards to adopt procedures that comport with certain provisions of law for notifying the student's parent of specified information, requiring such procedures to reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children in a specified manner, prohibiting the procedures from prohibiting a parent from accessing certain records, providing construction, prohibiting a school district from adopting procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent about specified information or that encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold from a parent such information, prohibiting school district personnel from discouraging or prohibiting parental notification and involvement in critical decisions affecting a student's mental, emotional, or physical well being, providing construction, prohibiting classroom, discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in certain grade levels or in a specified manner, requiring certain training developed or provided by a school district to adhere to standards established by the Department of Education. Just this first page alone. I know what some people are going to say, Zen. You know what they're going to say? Oh, well, the part about groups. And if you're in that group and then you have a kid who comes out in the support group, now that that group is now obligated to go ahead and tell the parents that this kid happened to come out. And then that could cause all kind of problems at the home because obviously that kid felt that he needed to come out, in a safe space, in a safe environment. Not going to dispute that. But I'm willing to bank that the age that that's happening at, that kind of mass realization, that's more middle school and high school.
Right.
Right?
I would think that if they're coming out at school and the parents are concerned that they're going to come out at school and then be talked to about it at school and never be notified at home, that ain't going to be K through 3.
It's not.
No, you're not doing it at that point. Because the K through 3, I will say at least K, doesn't know how to keep secrets.
No.
They don't know how to hide. Like my daughter tells on herself all the time. She'll mention something that she told to somebody else a long time ago. It don't matter. They're not keeping that type of a secret.
No.
Oh, I only talk about this at school with my teacher. They told me not to talk about it with you. So,
which I'm not, that's the truth. So obviously we know that this bill is now targeting higher education levels, right? It would seem. Now, I know there's going to be people out there who are going to be listening, and they're going to be like, "How could you say this, Dean?" Yada yada yada. It's a parent's right to know if their kid is going through some shit, because guess what? Not every parent is going to respond in a negative manner. There may be confusion. There may be some heartache. I'm not going to say that there won't be.
Yeah.
In certain regards, there may be, but doesn't mean every parent is going to turn out or have a negative fashion. Like, it is a parent's responsibility and it's a parent's job to raise their kids.
Right.
So, in what world is it acceptable to withhold such information from parents?
Right.
You can't legally allow that. Like, you cannot.
Right.
Think about it, people. Think about it in a broader aspect, because guess what? If you can do it for sexual orientation stuff, right? What else could you do it for? What if we had some communism group? You know what I mean? Or some pro-authoritarianism group that was then indoctrinating your kids, and you weren't able to find out what the hell this group does. There was a teacher down in Virginia who actually did this shit. He was fucking teaching the kids. He was like, "Well, look at Russia's side of things." He was an assistant teacher. Ended up getting let go and fired.
Trying to, in a sense, push kids in the direction of hey.
And that's the issue that parents are having, no matter how you want to see it. Because if you go on the TikTok machine, because I see a whole bunch of it, right? There are videos out there of teachers coming out to their students. Why? What does that have to do with the price of milk? Especially at that kind of a young age. Teaching older kids, certain things just come out. They ask you questions, whatever the case may be. But these young kids don't need to know that. That's not any of their business. So I don't really understand, when Florida is targeting those kind of educators, I don't see the issue. Like, if you're going to come out to a second grade classroom, go fuck yourself.
I would wonder, if they're doing it, I would need context. It might be one of those, I don't know.
Oh, it could be, because
are saying something specific and you're like, yo, I live different. So hey, let me nicely correct you. There are people out here who don't. I don't know. That would be my. I would have to hear their explanation.
I would need. Well, yeah. The videos I saw, obviously, it's just the video, but then you get it's a lot of them are obviously it's like the worst of the worst. I would say.
Mhm.
Like, these are also teachers. Like, not for nothing, I would not want my kid to go into a classroom and the teacher has a goddamn like a rainbow hair, like has rainbow hair. That's not conducive to learning in my mind. Like, I don't want my kid to. I don't. I'm sorry. Maybe call me old school. What are we doing here? Like, no.
Eh,
No.
could
I
be
don't
done.
need.
Might not affect the teaching.
Bro. If I'm not gonna say you can't have different color hair, because there are teachers who have red hair, whatever the fuck they want to do. But I don't need
You just
a
might not feel like they're as
rainbow.
professional as you want them to be.
I don't need a rainbow in the hair. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Like, it's like I know what. Understand that you're proud, and I'm not going to dispute that fact. But there's a time and place for everything, and this is sexual orientation we're talking about. This isn't like
Mhm.
like the kids. Like, we're just here to teach them,
Mhm.
especially at that young of an age. Now, when you get to
Right.
older, now if you want to have this discussion for older grades, different conversation. But
Mhm.
K-3, which this bill mostly talks about, I don't think is an issue. I'm sorry, I've been talking so much.
This is Bill's directed as K-3. The way
That's
that
my
it's
only
written,
question. Is it though?
from what I read, that was the stipulation. They didn't
Was
say
it?
high school level, middle school,
No. Well,
unless
no.
I
The
didn't
only
read far enough.
no. Because I'm just saying, when we read this whole thing talks about school districts and education
Mhm.
in general, right?
Mhm.
There's a part that specifies what will not be taught to K-3, and he said everything else will be developmentally, appropriate. So
So yeah, that okay. So maybe
you see what
that's
I'm saying?
everybody's pushback.
So that's why I was
But even
going that
still, then you
whole
can't push
spiel
back on
earlier.
telling parents.
That's the whole issue.
Yeah, you can't push back on keeping parents informed about what's going on. But what kind of information are they getting that they're withholding? Like, what's being said that parents aren't being told about? Is
I
it
don't know.
about just what you're taught in sex ed classes? Because
Or
everybody's thing is, I don't teach my kids this. I'll teach them. But like, if you're at in high school and you haven't taught them, you should probably let the school teach them. So I have a feeling that this is like a kindergarten thing, kindergarten through third.
I would
Otherwise,
think so.
then from the pushback side on the bill or from the support side of the bill, like you should be then in support of them at least teaching it to the older kids.
See, and once again, so if we go right here, it says the school district may not adopt procedures of student support forms that prohibit school district school personnel from notifying a parent about his or her student's mental, emotional, physical health or well-being, or change in related services or monitoring, or that encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold from a parent such information. School district personnel may not discourage or prohibit parental notification of and involvement in critical decisions affecting a student's mental, emotional, or physical health and well-being. The subparagraph does not prohibit a school district from adopting procedures that permit school personnel to withhold such information from a parent if a reasonably prudent person would believe that disclosure would result in abuse, abandonment, neglect as those terms are defined in S.39.01. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. So that's why I'm saying that this portion I think is directed towards K-3, which is appropriate. You don't teach those kids that. But
Right.
this up here
Is largely a older kids type thing.
yes,
Maybe you'll
and
get a little kid who says, "Hey, I like to wear," a boy who's like, "I like wearing girls' clothes, but I can't tell my parents because they said I shouldn't do that." But this is
but
largely
an
it
older kid.
seems geared at older kids.
But then this right here is the saving grace in it all. This subparagraph does not prohibit a school district from adopting procedures that permit school personnel to withhold such information from a parent if a reasonably prudent person would believe that disclosure would result in abuse, abandonment, or neglect as those terms are defined in S.39.01. That right there
Says then you can still
you
withhold it.
can if there's an asshole at home.
Yeah. Then you have to know there is.
Then the kid would have to disclose that information.
Right.
So
And it's like you wonder, are they gonna make that up?
If they make that,
Oh, I feel this way. Don't tell anybody because at home I'll get abused. Like, do you want to go through this on your own?
Well, then obviously there would have to be, because they would. I'm assuming the kid would say that, right? Like the kid will say that, but then a lot because we do live in a different world. Like I will admit that it's a lot different world than when I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I also grew up in New York, not the South, so it's always been liberal, even the most conservative places.
Right.
So
this is Florida.
Yes, this is Florida. But this subparagraph does this portion, I should say, this does add a wrinkle to the whole thing. Like it's effectively, once again, we're just seeing how individuals are getting weaponized on either side of something. They don't even truly fully understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as you stated earlier, how many people read this bill?
Maybe this is the part that they're pushing back on or the part above it where they're like, oh, we want. But I don't know. Never mind. Because if you're pushing back, then you didn't read this part where it's like, well, you can withhold information if they think you're going to get abused.
You know?
If they think you're going to get hurt from us telling your parents about this, now it's going to lead to you going and self-harming. If you say, hey, if you tell my parents this, I'm probably I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I can't, you can't do that then.
No. But then on the same token, if you have a reasonably well-being, like for instance, well, I would have never done that. I can't even give it for instance.
It's hard.
Yeah, because I don't know. But if you, because I don't even know kids who would join a group like that.
Mm-mm.
Because if I'm just thinking for myself, there are only two types of people, I believe, right? When it comes to this kind of world, right? If we're talking about gay and lesbian shit, you got the one who's clearly known that everyone's just waiting for them to come out, or you got the one that no one has any idea about.
Yep.
And the one that no one has any idea about is not going to join the gay club at school.
No.
Like
they're going to do their secret stuff, and you don't know about them. That's the point.
Never fucking
have a clue
out for as long as we don't want you to find out. You understand me? Like,
exactly.
There was, you couldn't pay. The closest I got to fucking anything like that was I became a safe space counselor when I was in college. Because I need one, because like my sociology degree, I was like, oh, I should get this. Two, I was like, well, I do want to make people feel safe. You know what I mean? And then, obviously, because I knew my own demons, so I was like, well, while I may not be able to accept it, if anyone does have the balls to accept it, I'll make sure they're accepted and they know that, you got somebody who's going to have your back violently if necessary. So I did that, you know what I mean? But obviously, a portion of that was for me, but it was a counselor, never as the actual human. And that was in college. See what I'm saying? So maybe
you made it that far and nobody had a clue.
Had a fucking idea. Right. I made it to even after college. They were fucking. Tell my friends they had no fucking idea. There was actually I was talking to one buddy of mine. He did say that this other girl back in college pegged it. She was like, "Yo, does he do both?" He's like, "Get the fuck out of here, bitch! What you talking about?" I was like, "Well, she wasn't lying. So, she must have saw me on one of my late night escapades. Caught Batman.
I was out here, and I could swear
she caught Batman from Bruce Wayne." She said, "What the fuck is going on?" But I don't. once again, I just don't I just don't see anybody like that going into this kind of group. With all that said and done, I just don't. Unless
Right.
maybe there are people who have a lot more courage, excuse me, or because they definitely was had a lot more courage than I did, and then Wood came out early. So
That
maybe they
might be
are
another
out to
thing
their
too.
friends.
It's
They are
now
out to their
because
friends, but
people are
not their
so open.
family. Mm.
Since people are so open now, they might feel more comfortable doing it at school, but not comfortable at home.
But once again, any reasonable parent has a right to know if their
Right.
kid is going through changes. Like there's no hard like, and I understand there's gonna be like gay people out there like, oh, like I like back in the fucking 2 decades ago, different story. So I understand, but you can't project that time on these kids right now.
I
Shit
guess it would
is
be hard. It'd be hard
it's
to see
different.
what would need to be reported to a parent. Like if you're in a group and I don't tell my parents that I'm in this club, like why do you have to go tell my parents I'm in this club? Like
Well, no, parents like so you a student, you should not be in any group or doing an activity without the parent knowing or having parental consent. So that's something I never even like.
I never joined clubs since I played sports, so it's like that's very obvious I'm doing this. So
Right.
I guess I don't know what kids said to parents when they're like, "Hey, I'm in the debate club." Like,
I
if
never
you
jo-
told your parents, "Hey, this is what I'm doing,"
I never joined any clubs either, but I did have a
and
buddy who was on the law team, and guess what you had to do? You had to get parental permission because you're on school
because you're
grounds after
staying after
school.
school. Yeah.
So either way,
That
you
makes
still
sense.
need like
That makes sense.
so yeah, a parent should know what the fuck their kid is joining. Like no matter
So
how you
yeah,
want
if you're gonna run a group like that at the school,
to. Yes.
yeah, that makes sense.
And like I know people are thinking like, no, I'm trying to do this for these kids in high school who are going through it. I'm not stating that that's not the case. But if a kid joins a club, it's a parent right to know that the kid joined the club. Even though I understand what we're talking about morally for older kids.
Hmm.
For older kids. You've lost me from K through 5. You've lost me.
But
You
I
can eat a
feel like
dick.
that's where the rights arguments are from. Is you're not gonna teach my child, my kindergartner, my elementary school kid about sex. You're not gonna teach them about homosexuality. So their focus seems to be I'm worried about the elementary school kids. They're not the only thing they're worried about with the older ones is the trans. Is you're trying to get my kid to transition at the age of 12. Like that's like
You
and that's a
damn,
legit concern.
you
But
damn
that
right. You
that's a
gotta tell a
legit
parent.
concern. But other than that, they're not concerned about. I mean, the homosexuality thing. That's the we could segue this one
Into what?
into the Disney shit
Oh, we can.
because that flows right into what you were just saying, where you don't even know. You're
Yeah,
living with
just
people. You went to school with people who had no clue.
yeah, no, I never
Why?
heard that.
Because the world was set up in a way that was like hetero, hetero, hetero. Everybody's hetero.
Yup.
So
Yup.
now you got Disney people out here with their not so gay agendas
Very true.
trying
Trying to
to
even the odds per se.
even the odds, balance it out. The same complaint what everybody's saying now of, or with a lot of people say of, there's gay stuff everywhere. Everything's got something gay. It's like, well, yeah, because these people are everywhere. You don't know it.
And I don't and I think the issue is that it's because the name Disney is attached to it.
Yes.
Because people, when you think Disney, you automatically think kids. You don't even realize, like obviously people realize, but you subconsciously aren't thinking about, oh, Marvel, the Marvel universe.
Mhm.
Oh, certain Pixar movies. You see what
Well,
I'm saying?
it
Like,
didn't help that this girl said she's a proud family person, which is a cartoon.
oh
So,
wait, oh, the Proud Family has somebody gay in there now.
well, she said, "Oh, I work on that show, so I'm looking to put whatever queer stuff I can in the background." So, it's
Hmm.
like, okay, you want to put queers in the background. Are then heterosexual people mad if you're putting heteros in the background? Like, are you just mad that there's people who are in embracing each other in the background of a kid's show.
Yeah, because and then usually it would be any kind of thing anyway, because then you would probably have like man and woman, woman,
Right.
woman, man,
Right.
man, or like couples or whatever the fuck. That's kind of how life is anyway.
Right. So in my head, their not so gay agenda is to, hey, let's put them everywhere because we're everywhere. So
Yeah.
let's represent everywhere.
I that's why I don't disagree with that mantra at all, just because at the end of the day, as long as you're not being distasteful with it,
Mm-hmm.
so like for instance, as long as you're not like you shouldn't see anything, you shouldn't see a gay couple or a gay character do anything you wouldn't see a heterosexual couple or a heterosexual character do in that same age demographic.
Right.
Because as we were just talking about, in Florida, there are going to be kids growing up and it should like you're not gonna know, but then they can
Mm-hmm.
resonate with something, whatever the case may be, and it's thrown into the show for that representation. So I don't have an issue. Like I think everyone on both sides, no matter the issue, on everything, we're just so sensationalized because we're all pieces of shit at the end of the day. Now, let's call a spade a spade. We're all pieces of shit. We all think that our opinion is right, and we all think that we are the end all be all, and that if the masses thought in the way that we thought, then the world will go a better place. I'm not above that. Zen is actually above that because he actively goes out and tries to like counter his own arguments. He's a different kind of breed. But the rest of us fucking humans, we aren't built like that. We're pieces of shit. The issue is that you have to. One thing I will give myself is I recognize my piece of shitness.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like I own it. Like there are times where I'm even like going at it with friends and they're just like, yo, you're just being an asshole. Like I know I'm being an asshole, but I want to continue being an asshole. I don't know why, but I want to continue that. But I don't think that the issue, the general mass will call their own selves out on their bullshit. So now it leads us into these fucking inflated issues. Like you motherfuckers who were saying the Don't Say Gay bill don't even understand what the goddamn bill is. And everybody talking about Disney wants to fucking has like this not so gay agenda. When you actually kind of like listen to it and kind of see what's going on, it's like, oh, they're just adding like what normal life is on a normal life scale. So like if there are 10 characters in the, there are 10 couples or 10 couple characters, whatever the fuck it is, in the fucking goddamn movie, one of them or a couple.
I would say you would have to, you split it. You split it
50-50
split when you go out.
Is it a split?
Well, I live in New York. Never mind. So
I live in New York too, but it's a lot different up here.
Yeah, you're in country.
Yeah, when Justin and I go out, we are unless we go to a gay specific place where, let me tell you this, not that we're against going to these places, but we just never go really because we don't. There's not the ones that that's our flavor.
Not your vibe.
It's not our vibe. Like we're chill. We're a couple, not a throuple, we're not looking to add anything to this. So we're certain places they give all. We're not with that shit. But when we
I could go
70-30.
I could go 70-30 here. 70-30 for at least where I am. I see a good amount. And
I'll give you 70-30.
There's people that I would say I wouldn't be shocked, and I don't know.
I think it's cool. Well, also it also depends on where you also hang out at, right? Like I said, most places Justin and I will go to, I think we are. Actually, you don't know because you do see other dudes there, but then we would just assume that like, oh, they're just dudes. They could be also swinging on the same team that we're swinging on, but then since we're upstate, maybe it's like just a different level up here. Like we're just a lot tougher. Not tougher. Excuse me.
You just look different.
I think we're just more heterosexual presenting.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Which you might be, and you don't know. You don't know
fucking
what
have
they're
no
going
idea.
home to.
Yeah. They could also be going home to their wife and kids, and they were also out with their side piece.
Right. They could be going both ways, for all we know.
Yeah, they could be. Listen, people. If you go it both ways, whoever you're in a relationship with, you just stick it with them. Don't fucking put your dick everywhere or your vagina everywhere. You make it bad. You give us a bad name out here, people. Everybody thinks that we're just fucking uncontrollable hound dogs, and we have to have we have the most control out of all of you fucking savages. So
kind of have to,
bro. That's why I'm like, when it comes like controlling that world, fuck yes, man. That's why I don't give a fuck about nothing. That's why I can go into a locker room and be like, I was in the locker room for 4 years. No one had any fucking idea.
Mm-hmm.
And we had people in the locker room who used to do a lot of weird shit. And you know when weird shit used to get to me, you know what I would say? Get the fuck away from me. Not out of some like fucking justice of like, I don't want to think of something. No, just like this isn't the fucking time or place.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a time and place for everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not stating that we can't do this, but it's not. This ain't the place. Like
So
control.
you would wonder. This would lead you to wonder.
No.
Well, let's ask.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sure.
Different direction.
Go ahead.
What sexual education did you have in high school?
I think I had health class in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade.
This would lead me to wonder.
Sure.
The guys that were doing these acts, did they have a sexual education in their home that made in their own homes?
Oh, that I don't know.
That made them comfortable enough to, hey, I might like this, which is why I'm doing this here in the locker room around people who I'm pretty sure are gonna say no, but I'm gonna wait for that one who might say yeah. Were there any of those, or did everybody turn out to be?
So, put it to you like this: out of the individuals who used to play about that shit, right? Where I'm going to my high school teammates and college teammates. In high school, I think there was, out of all those who would act, because I was a precision shooter, so especially in that realm, you can't miss.
Mm-hmm.
In high school, there was one. College, I didn't mess with any teammates that acted like that. And anytime that something happened with one of them, I think everyone was befounded and befoozled and like bamboozled that it even happened, because it was not planned to just shit. Like, it was a domino effect. The fucking chess moves in a certain way. People are drunk and then shit happened, and I'm not even the aggressor. So yeah, it wasn't anybody who ever. Most of the time, those people who played were for the most part straight. Those weren't the ones because those
closeted.
They could be. They could be, but I don't know. I don't know, because I had a very strong radar for that kind of stuff, just because because you're just trying to find kindred spirits, and also too, like, I'm only feeding one part of me, especially in college. The other part was like, what the fuck, bro? But you never smelt the ones who played. Like, I'm just stating, like, it's normally the ones who don't fuck around with that. You'll have a better luck with them. I'm not stating that you can't have fun with the other ones. You can get yourself into some weird situation with them because they're so free and liberating, but you won't get a high return on your investment. That's like a one-hit quitter. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just saying, like, that may be like a true experiment, or just being fucking like a California guy, or or acting like a European guy, I would say. Because the Europeans have like our soccer team was very fluid with that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So it could have that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it also, like you said, but then that goes back to how you were raised. That's their culture. So they're like cool with that shit. I don't know, man. But I would say this is that, like, if I had a kid in a group, I should know what the group is about. Point blank and simple. I don't care how old the kid is until the kid graduates. Not in my house.
If you're doing a program on your premises, I should know what my kid's doing in that program.
Fuck yes. Yeah. In K through 12, you goddamn right. In college, you do what you do.
Do what you do.
K through 12,
I should know. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, there should be no debate.
However, but I'll just say, on top of that, at least 6 through 12, you should have some solid sexual education up in there for them.
You have to.
For everyone. And in regards to all spectrums of it, not just hetero. Stay away from gay.
You got to have the hetero, you got to have the gay, you got to have the bisexual, you got to have the lesbians. Even the lesbians are a dying community right now. Yeah, that's a whole conversation. A lot of lesbians are becoming non-binary, or they're going trans, which is going to, I think, lead into another discussion like 30, 40 years.
That'll be interesting.
Because I don't know if, like, like what happened to like just the age, like the the AG lesbian? What happened to like the more dominant lesbian? Like why is she going away? Like she was cool, she was a boss, and she grabbed mad bitches. What are we doing?
They're there. I feel like they're still there.
They are, but it's a dying breed. It's a
Might be.
dying. The
They're
lesbians are a
struggling.
dying breed.
Like
They shouldn't.
skins.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't. They should not be. Make lesbians strong again. Stop fucking.
I'm down.
You know what I mean? Lesbians are fucking super. Yo, they're like some of the coolest people.
They are.
Some of the dopest women.
Very chill, usually.
But as you said, like lesbians. Well, I left off the lesbians, the bisexuals, the gays, the trans, the non-binary now, because that is something you have to address it.
So the thing I think is that they don't want this taught. What? That's probably what this bill is they don't want their kids taught about the other stuff, which is why they're like, if my kids learn about this, I want to know about it, so that they can hear about it, go to one of the PTA, go to the meeting and say, my kid shouldn't be taught this information. My Christian values say you shouldn't be teaching them about this. This is sin. Don't teach that. That's my guess as what their pushback is. I want to know what my kid's being taught, not because of a club, not because of that gay kid, because the ones who have gay kids know they got gay kids. If you are a parent who's involved in your kid's life,
not all the time.
All right, fair.
Gay or otherwise. Fair.
So you might not know.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. You might not know, but it might not be so much about the clubs, but what are you teaching my kid? Why are they learning? What sexual education you teach? Why are you teaching them that homosexuality is okay?
This is
That's
South.
Probably it.
This is the Bible Belt
Florida.
South.
This is still Florida.
But then under that same token, well, then they would be wrong in that regard, because that's the world and that's how things are going. So we have to present this information as the information is. Now, you don't want to indoctrinate kids, but at certain ages, you got to know this is the shit that we are dealing with. So there's no reason to send your kid in there half cocked. So that part I do not agree. Like that part,
not at all.
Parents can't. You can't be up in arms about it, but then they also parents do have a right to know what their kids be.
Cool. Learn about it, but then you don't have a say in what's going on.
As long as it's tactfully taught,
right?
To an extent, as long as it's being tactfully taught.
I mean and that's where they threw that clause in of appropriate for their age. Like, at any point in high school, we're not going to teach them about exactly this is how you go out and penetrate people. Like, no, we're not going there, but you're going to give them a proper education.
I remember in health class they showed you how to put they showed us how to put the condom on.
How to put a condom on, yes. Did they show you how to go get down and put it in them?
I feel like
did they tell you to lubricate them to make sure that they get nice and warmed up inside?
I remember there was a health teacher in middle school who she was talking about sex, and she was stating how young girls, if you're out here trying, you shouldn't be doing it, but make sure you are wet and moist down there. Make sure he just doesn't go in there. Like, make sure you are ready for it. Good.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, and then she also talked about masturbation, telling young girls, like, if you find this and you touch that and you like it, it is what it is. Don't feel from it. Like, health teachers are always more free and obscure because they have to be with this information. It is what it is.
Mine weren't.
Really?
Mine weren't. I don't remember.
Ours were wild.
Anything. Maybe I didn't pay attention. Maybe I was too naive in that area for whatever reason to pay attention, but I don't remember learning anything educational in our health class. I learned more from my childhood video than I learned from what I remember in health class.
It was educational. But a lot of the times, because of the kids' ages, it would just be so kids are gonna be kids, and they're still immature. Even though you're trying to teach them this information.
Yeah.
But it's like
maybe I did learn. I don't know.
You know what I mean? You may have just pushed it out or whatever the case may be, maybe made fun of it and they didn't think about it, but information that was vital. Some of us who took the information was like, oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
I took info from my childhood video, stored that, had it in my bank, ran with it.
Do you want to play that video?
No, it's mad long.
Okay.
I would have to clip it to like the better parts.
I got
And
you.
then, like I said, the best part, freaking lost audio.
And you learned this, but then this was your family who showed you this video, though.
Yeah, my grandma, I remember, used to sit us down, like, here, put this video on. There were 2 tapes. One was What's Happening to Me, which was about the puberty stuff. And then there was another one that was, I think, more directed about babies being made. So
I don't remember any of those kind of videos. I feel as if like I learned from like, I feel like not for nothing. I feel like you first get your first sexual education experience, like, you know, through talking with your friends, or like if you have an older sibling who's talking about it, and then you just kind of like pick up on it, like, you know, and then obviously like watching shit, you're just like, oh, like you see things, you don't understand it, but then when you talk to your friends, like, oh, that's what that is. Oh, okay, cool. Like, so I remember learning about a whole bunch of shit just from talking with friends.
I mean, I was out there singing Peaches and Cream. Had no clue what they were
Bruh.
talking.
I remember when the Teletubbies were out, and I had said something about the Teletubbies, and I was like, my mother said something about the purple one, and I was like about buying Teletubbies. She's like, oh yeah, like we should get. Lane's like my cousin. Buy my cousin the Teletubbies. Like, oh, maybe we should get her the purple one. And I was like, can't get her the purple one. It's gay. And then my mother was looking at me because I was at an age that she didn't think I would know that. She was like, what you know about gay? And I was like, it means when, like, you know, a man or a woman, they like each other instead of liking another, like the other one. And she was like, where'd you learn it? And I was like, school. She was like, in like your teachers? I was like, nah, like my friends. Hey, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, yeah. Someone poked around, learned about something, but then you also learn a lot of dumb shit. So.
Listen, I also learned that, you know, if you masturbate too much, that you're gonna go blind. You know what I mean? And then also thinking in the back of my mind, like, so when am I gonna go blind? Like,
I think, oh man, if I do this too much, one of my nuts are gonna fall out.
And then it's just like, but then it doesn't stop you.
No,
it just brings shame.
Like, is it happening? Did it happen?
Yeah, no. Did it happen? No, I'm good. And then you have like this shame of like, oh, what was I just doing?
Yeah, I can't tell anybody I did this. 25 years later. Yo, you're literally
son. When I was going through puberty stage, a fucking wild. When I think about it, it was like I was just fucking decimating fucking towels. Decimating towels. Because like,
yeah.
God forbid my parents went to fucking work and I was home all day. Like on the rare time that I didn't fucking have to, like, I didn't have any sports, have to go anywhere. I just had to, like,
you got
chill.
a whole day at home.
Over. I remember beat my dick so crazy, my shit got swollen. I was like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, bro. I was
can't tell nobody about that.
Oh no, didn't tell fucking soul. Then praying to God, like, can you just make it normal again? Just make it normal.
You got to go try and play and be like,
oh, listen, we've been there. We've all been there. If you're a guy who hasn't been there, you haven't lived, and your parents are probably fucking Bible fuckers who don't fucking like fucking sex education. Oh my fucking God! Listen here, Zen. I think we came here what we set out to do. You know, we gave some people some education. We fucking gave them some laughs at the end of this thing. Yes. We come to find out that, you know, at the end of the day, Florida is crazy as shit. You know, you can be a cop doing all the wrong things, and that's okay. But then if you're a cop who follows orders, but they also happen to be like, they're not negative orders. You get fired. Because everyone still had to be on the same standard. You get fired. But then we also find out that most people don't understand don't say gay bill. Most people don't understand that. And then also most people don't understand the gay agenda in Disney. Look at the world. But that's why you come here for us. Because you know what, people? That's why y'all fuck with us. If you came this long of the video, we already know you one of the homies. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and do us that favor. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what I mean? We appreciate you. So you just do us the favor. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe to this bad boy. If you like it, if you liked anything, leave a comment. If you hated anything, leave a comment. Listen, our Instagrams, if you click the description, you can fucking easily click our Instagrams. You can have access to us, and you can send us a message, right, wrong, or indifferent. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do that. Now, remember here, the energy that is given is the energy that excuse me, the energy that we receive will be the energy that we are going to give. So be careful with your shit. But as long as for me, peace, love, and chicken, I got nothing else to say. My man Zen, what about you?
If it didn't hurt, you ain't live.
And we out.